Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hopefully you all had a great start to the week. I know I did because I finally remembered it's a bank holiday weekend next weekend. And a double bank holiday weekend at that. So we get Friday and Monday off. So what can I say? I'd forgotten all about it being Easter. So yep, I am very happy that we have a double bank holiday this weekend. So today's stream is going to be a grindy kind of stream. We're going to continue working on the floating islands. I've got a whole bunch of blue glass for once we finish placing the blue concrete. And if we get bored of those, the other unfortunate thing to do is go dig up more sand, because it's, from a rough calculation, we need approximately 3 shulkers of glass per layer and approximately 7 layers, so at least 21 shulkers of glass, which is a whole lot of glass. Fortunately, with having the lava farm, it's not too bad. So let's start off by working on the island. We'll get out of the nether for a little bit. And let's grab, I picked up some potions because night vision might help when we're up there. So how's everybody's day been? So I don't want to carry everything up there with me. Let's just carry half of it. Oh, well, it's becoming daylight. That's okay. You're done. I need torches. Which box did I put the torches in? I actually got some prep work done today. Let's get up here and start placing deep slate. So, and filling in the gaps and adding extra lines as needed. I'm not sure about this. May have made a few little mistakes when I made this thing. Because that's a bit steep for coming round this corner. Some of these holes I'm going to have to fill in from outside as well. See if we can shape it a little bit. Because I don't want a box shape on a floating island. I don't think it'd work too well. The fun bit is trying to get the angles right for placing some of these blocks. And to keep a reasonable shape. Well, it is only the rough shape. And hopefully we can get it looking better with the detail work when we get round to that stage of the game. Let's go here. I think I did. No. Yep. Putting mountain shapes is always fun, and that's the way I'm looking at it, as an upside down mountain. I think I'm going to have to put another line up to there. Just break up the amount of room it's going to take. Otherwise it's going to get very samey. We don't really want that. Right, so we're not far off, but I'm going to have to put a little steep bit in, otherwise we're not going to make the point. Yeah. There we go. Then we can join that lot to this. That's a plan anyway. Hi Ellie, thank you for the meow. It's good to see you. How's your day and weekend been? We're back to doing grindy work. So let's bring this up a little. Oh, I'm glad you had a great weekend. And I was just saying, I just realised it's a double bank holiday weekend this weekend coming up. Don't ask me why, it just hadn't clicked that it was Easter. So, and I don't work bank holidays, so that's awesome. Yep. Looks to me like you need a lot of deep sleep. Well, I have 4 shulkers on me and 4 more shulkers down there, and some more in the chest, and some more over by the portal. I'd probably end up needing even more, but we'll see. We'll see how far this gets me before I start worrying about needing more. But probably yes. Yeah. Usually I know, but not this year. This year I think the last year or so with working from home, I haven't really paid as much attention to them. But yeah, it's always good. It's definitely a nice surprise to know that it's a bank holiday weekend, and a double one at that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having Friday and Monday off. Remember to stick some torches in this before it gets too crazy. Otherwise, we're going to have mobs everywhere. Hi, Eck. It does run out very fast. And I also fortunately have several shulkers full of the smooth cobble as well. That'll make it easier to do some detailing. Just need to remember to make this come a little bit steeper, otherwise I'm going to run out of room. Not that often I manage to show up at the start of a stream and not halfway through. It's all good. I am just happy that people actually show up. Doesn't matter when or how long they can stay. It's just really nice that people do. Makes me seem not quite so crazy talking to myself. And I'm only teasing. You're right, I probably should. Give me a second. Smart thinking there, Ali. Let's go get us a jumpy beacon. I don't tend to use them that often, but when I'm building mountains, and this is an upside down mountain, beacons are awesome for that. And I still have these that let me have for the nether hub, which I need to return at some point, but I'm pretty positive he won't mind me using the beacon for beacon purposes. Right, so 1, 2, 3. And I'll put the emeralds back afterwards too. Okay, so didn't pick that up, did I? I didn't pick it up because I'm out of space. There we go. It's okay, I'll use an emerald. I was trying to think what to use to power the thing, and I've got the emeralds. Yep, just seen you face a too high slope, so I thought, yep. And that's awesome that you did. So what I need to do is put in a platform down here somewhere. And went on a walk again today, managed to do 1.5 before getting really ill again. But at least you were able to get out and about. I'm sorry that you felt you weren't feeling too well by the end of it, but it is good that you were able to get out about a bit. Oops. Right, so 1, 2. I think I need to use my thumb. If I don't use my thumb, it doesn't work. Or can't you hold shift in the water? Yes, you can. There we go. 1, 2. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4. I'm not worried that they're underwater because it doesn't matter to the beacon. 3, 4. Unfortunately, in Java we get infinite up with the beacon effect. I think it's slightly different in Bedrock. Yep. definitely, I think this texture's kind of weird. I'm still not sure about it. It has its uses, I guess. It just still seems a little weird. Doesn't seem very emeraldy. But then again, what would you class as emeraldy? Right, so in you go, and we want jump boost, jump boost. Thank you. Let's stick some torches around. Hi, Kaza. Thank you for the raid. How did your stream go? And what were you streaming today? Good to see you. Head here. Now, hopefully, that will help. Thank you for suggesting it, Ali, because I would not have thought about it. Hi, Chiro. It goes okay. We're working on floating islands today. It's a bit of a grindy stream. So, putting out a shape of the floating island and then... So, on how's it going for you today? Let's build that a bit. That way it doesn't look quite so square. That's pretty steep there, so we're going to need to bring this up a little bit. It's going good, just lurking in streams and working. That's cool. I like to do that when I can. It helps the day go a little faster sometimes. Obviously, you can't always do it, but it is nice when you can. Right, so I think we're going to take this line up to here to break up this section as well. Hi, Kaza. How are you doing? I think it's just a one, isn't it? So let's put that one there, just so I can reach underneath this one here. You're all good. You're hungry now. Yep. You go grab something to eat then. Because it's that time of the day. Right, so we need to pull this down and out. Oops. Apologies for the screen jumpy uppy down a bit. So I want to bring you... Can I get to the angle to place a block there? Oh. Yep. Maybe a bit flat on the out when we get to the outside, but the detail blocks will fix it. You'll be lurking. Thank you for the lurk, Kaza. I do appreciate it, and thank you for the raid. You take care of yourself and enjoy your food. Someone needs pizza, huh? Pizza's okay, but it's not one of my favourite foods. It's one of those foods I'll eat every so often when I'm in the mood for it. Nothing wrong with pizza, just... I think the problem is getting decent pizza. Because it all tends to be very soggy whenever I order pizza. And I don't like soggy pizza. Right, so this is, I'm going to have to knock some of this out because it's wrong. It's not going to meet up right. Let's bring that down. The block there. That's better. Yeah, yeah, not much good pizza, especially all the local takeouts. Got to know where to order from. That's true. And I must admit, I haven't really, since I moved back up here, I haven't really tried the pizza places. Because I know all the ones where I was located when I was down south. Yeah, they were not nice. It's like a thin, crispy pizza base, not a thick, bready pizza base. But then again, I'm not a big bread fan. Unless it's a baguette kind of thing that's crispy. It's a childhood thing. I had trouble with bread when I was a kid. I just couldn't seem to eat it. And it's just kind of held over unless it's a nice crispy roll or something like that. Yeah, not so much. Right, let's use one of the portions because it's going to get dark. And hopefully that will help a little bit so you guys can still see what's going on. I don't want one there, I want it next to you, thank you. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not going to look right. That's going to look weird outside. Better. You could tell it was going to be too boxy by the way I was placing those blocks. Got there. Because I don't want to have to do tons of reshaping when we get to the outside. Because there's going to be plenty of it anyway. Okay. And that one there. I think we need a torch or two. Let's get rid of the axe and put the torches at where the axe is. I don't like that bit. What do you like there? So you don't even need to be there. There we go. Just shape it a little better. Okay, let's see if we can drag this line down and around. Down to meet this block here. Go there. Sorry, I'm just trying to visualize where it needs to go. Okay, so I'm out of beacon range. Okay. Didn't realise I was that far away from the beacon. If I take this one up, bring this one down a bit, and fill in the dots. Yeah. Right. So if we take you down as well, take you up, then we can bring this line up here too. That'll close that off. Okay, I've got the bounces back now. Right, so you can go here, come there, join you up. Let's bring you down and across. Let's figure out. No, I don't like that. Let's just double check that one a second. It's too straight. So if I move it over, put one underneath. It might make a difference. Okay. Hi Sky, thank you for the creeper. You made me jump then. Considering I'm working in the sky. Yeah. Right, so if I pull that down, yeah, and if I pull that down one, I'd have to pull it down two. I don't want it to be the same height. Knock this one out a second so I can place a block. There. Gave you a heart attack as well, Vidarius. Vidarius, yeah. Not surprised. It's a way to wake me up. Right, so this, what do I do here? It's only 2, so we should be able to get away with it. Right, let's just pull this down in. Okay. No, that's not where I want you, thank you. I wanted you there. Just so it's shaped a little. And that one goes there. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Still got that bit over there to fill in by the look of it. Let's go patch that hole before I forget about it. Get rid of you because you're a block that there's no point being there. Right, so we want to pull this down and bring it over to here. Step it down a little bit. There we go. With this one. I think we're going to finish that there. Put another block there, so the next lot of stair steps will hopefully fit themselves in around here. Gives me these bits that just need plugging. Yep. That was the whole point of doing the floating islands in this location. I've built in the air on a previous season, and I did that over the ocean as well, because the amount of times I fell off. Yep, I hate to think. Right, so if I put one there and one there, that'll make that shaped as well. So yeah, I'm just going to have to be careful when I get near the trading hall down there, that if I fall, I actually land in the water and not... but I have the elytra on as well. Go splat. Splatting isn't fun unless you intentionally do it. Then yard sale. So this needs to come out a little bit. Give it a little bit of shape. Work our way around this bit. And let's figure this bit out. If you go there, then you can come back here. It gives us a shape there. How are we doing for the night viz? Pretty much out of night viz, but looks like the moon's about to set and the sun come up. Hopefully. Right, so let's do something similar here. But I think I need to put a ridge line in. But we'll see. Yep, it is why I have wings, but that doesn't stop me from not deploying them sometimes. Thank you, Gashel. I can see that one making me jump several times this stream. There I go, spinning round looking for the phantom, huh? So are you guys... So who else has a bank holiday weekend this weekend, with it being Easter? And if it is a bank holiday weekend, do you have plans? Are you going to do anything fun? Just keeping you awake? Yep, it definitely does that. Get rid of you, because that's not what I wanted. I think I'm going to put one there and just move this indentation slightly over to the side. And then I'm going to have to start making it a little steeper. Before too much longer. Easiest way to do that is see where this will end up going. Need to bring that down to join this line. Yeah. Fills that in. Thank you for the hydrate tech. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be dark longer than I thought it was. It must have been the opposite effect. Apologies. I was thinking I guess it was a sun setting rather than the moon setting. No. Don't want you there. Want you there. Thank you. Bring you down into line onto this block, hopefully. Put one here. Go. That'll fill that gap. Now I'm going to take this line up here now. If I break it up into small chunks, it makes it easier. Then we can get a reasonable shape for the bottom of the island. Okay, that's there. So none of you have plans for this weekend then, being bank holiday? Just a normal weekend. That's cool. Oh, that's not where I want that, I don't think. I want that one further down. So I'm pretty much the same myself. But then again, like I said, I'd forgotten it was even a bank holiday weekend. I knew Easter was coming up. Right, so put that there. Fill that in. Yep. Bring this one down. Right. No, I'll put that there. Looks like I'll be off for the entire thing, which makes me unsure if I'll make it to any of the streams in that time. That's fine if you, as long as you're having fun, Ali. I'm glad you've got the time off. Sometimes you need a break and to get out and about and do things. So that is never a problem. If, like I say, I love having you at the streams, but you need to do other stuff too. And I'm glad you've got the time off. Help you de-stress a little. Right, so let's see if we can bring this shape in. It's very straight edge. Let's see if we can bring this as a ridge line or a line down to that point, and then another one going up from here. Yeah, that makes sense. De-stress, what's that? It's the thing we play Minecraft to do. To have fun. It's definitely one of the games I play to de-stress. After a day of fixing people's computers, it's fun just to and servers and email systems and whatever else some were magically broken over the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, the COVID lockdowns really did a number on me. It's probably better if I try socialising a bit. However, I'd love to be able to call myself to hang around here. Yep. The thing is, Ali, you've got to do what's best for you. You really do. I love having you at the streams, but you got to do what's best for you. It doesn't mean to say you can't pop in occasionally, etc. But yeah, you need to socialise a bit, get out and about and do what you need to do. Oops. Let's see where we're going to bring this one to. Yep, I think sometimes we all wish we could clone ourselves. And then again, sometimes we're glad we can't. Don't want that one there. And a shovel isn't going to get rid of the block. Well, it will do eventually, but not in the right way. Fill this in. Just run out of blocks. Put those in there. Gives myself a little bit more space. And let's fill this bit in. Okay, so we have a hole here. Right. I know I've got a whole bunch of holes over here they're going to have to figure out how to plug. Can go there. I think it's going to be a case of taking out a block every so often just to try and put one back in. Oops. I'll put that one there. Right. This next section. Oh, because what are you building today? It looks like an inverted. It is kind of an inverted mountain, Kells. What it is floating islands. So eventually, once I've got the island built and a top on it, I'm going to be building a whole area up there for moving up one of the trading halls. People magically breaking stuff there, like when their email doesn't work because there's no electricity. Or they've changed the password and for some reason they think it shouldn't change on their other machine. It's a case of, okay, the emails on my phone mysteriously stopped working, but yeah, you changed your password. But that has nothing at all to do with it. See, but bless them. But it's all good. It is. It's just Mondays are usually a little hectic. But yeah, so there's going to be 4 islands that have trading halls on them, and then a central island, and possibly a couple of other islands knocking about. But they're not all going to be made of the same thing. This one's going to be made out of. They're going to have a different theme. So this one's probably going to be the deep slate cobblestone and lava. and then there will be kind of an icy one, etc. Just gonna see if I can get it tie into this ridge line a bit. Go. So yeah, each one of them is going to be slightly different. I'm way behind. I should have been doing a lot more of this. I should be a lot further along than I am. But it'll get there. It always does. Right, so let's bring this one down and join into that. I'm not sure. Ugh, yeah, that's very straight. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Let's see if we can curve things around a little. Get it tied together a little bit. Yeah, there is when you only have a certain period of time with the server. Unfortunately, it's a case of if I've got 4 large islands with terrain and buildings to put on top of them, and a 5th island in the centre, and you have 9-10 months to build it all in, you can get a little bit behind on what you should, on where you should be with it to get it completed. But I must admit, the last month or so, I've been playing a lot of different games, just because I needed a bit of a break. But sometimes you have to do that. You need a change sometimes. Right, so let's figure out where you're going to go. I think I'm going to bring you this way. Yeah, burn rates are not good. No, they're definitely not. Yeah, and I guess that is true. I forget that not everyone plays single player most of the time. Yep. Yep, and enough work at work. Right, so I need to bring this up. I also need to sort this because you're really not looking right. But I also need to take you up a bit steeper too, so let's start doing that It makes it easier sometimes if I can just break up the segments. Yeah, sometimes, like say, when you get, sometimes if you do too much of a thing, it can become like work as well, and that's not what I ever want it to be, because it's a really, really fun game that I really enjoy playing. I'm figuring out what I can create. But yeah, sometimes I just need to break it up with a different game as well. Which I do try to do, so I don't do just Minecraft, which I do love. My latest game of choice was ESO. Sometimes it's Satisfactory, and sometimes it's Valheim, and can be any number of things. Including Subnautica. Occasionally I will go back and replay Subnautica. I've never played Factorio. So Elder Scrolls Online is fun. Like I said, I do like Satisfactory. But I do like Valheim, whatever you want to call it. Because you get to build in that too. And I like Empyrean. But that frustrates me too. As one of those games, a little bit of it goes a long way because I get frustrated with it. Which is a shame. But it is what it is. Subnautica's an awesome game. Plus, it's one of those games that has an end. So, you know, probably 15, 20 hours down the line, you reach the end of the story. But I like Below Zero as well. That was fun too. I did enjoy Subnautica Below Zero. Can't remember if I streamed it last summer. I know I streamed the speed runs, and I think I also streamed the Below Zero. Right, so if I fill that in, what about you? Any other? No, I watched Tango and what have you do play Green Hell, and it wasn't my game. From it really just no, I didn't. It was nice to watch somebody else play it, but I know from my own personal experience of games, it would not have been a game I would personally choose to play. No, it wasn't that. It was the whole storyline premise thing. I didn't. If I'm going to play a game in that kind of genre, I want a decent story. It's like Subnautica has a decent story. I didn't rate the storyline of Green Hell at all. Otherwise, I only play Uncharted Waters online and sometimes oldies such as Transport Tycoon or Masters of Magic. Can't say I've heard of either of those. I'll have to have a look into them, see what they are. But yeah, just because I won't particularly play a game myself doesn't mean to say I don't enjoy seeing somebody else play it. If that makes sense. It's like Portal was fun. I really enjoyed Portal 2. And Portal 1 and Portal 2. Oh, it's a really good management game, is it? Oh, that's cool. Like I say, Satisfactory was fun. It's one I keep going back to as well every so often. There are some games that I go back and play again and again. I think I've probably played Subnautica 4 or 5 times, the whole storyline thing. Oops, I should have really drunk another portion. Sorry. And I love exploring the world of Satisfactory. Building the machines and getting things working right is cool and fun because it's a grindy kind of game. But I love being able to explore the world too. Let's add a little bit more shape there. And yeah, I really enjoyed. I like a game with a kind of a storyline too. Right, so that's that bit. There. Let's stick some torches down. Which is probably why I like Elder Scrolls Online, because it's story kind of thing. It's such a massive puzzle until the end, and that a lot of people don't like it. Transport Fever 2 is a great one, and modern spiritual successor to Transport Tycoon. That's cool. Right, so I need to bring this up a bit. Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. There has to be a story that I enjoy. Don't want that one down there. Go away. See if we can fill this in. And get that bit. Break up that line a little bit. And I need to figure out how to get that down to here. Yeah, it's always fun to find new games. Right. Okay, so we spent an hour just over building part of an island. Let's go do some more boring stuff of placing a shulker of blue concrete. But I want to, hang on, let's have a quick fly underneath here. Yeah, there's a lot of edges I'm not overly happy with, but like I say, they'll get smoothed out. Right, so cobblestone, that one's got 5 more in. That's probably the one I was working out of. And has emeralds and empty bottles. And more cobblestone. Yep, we will need you, so you can come with. And where did I put the blue concrete? Here we go. There's the blue concrete. And we have a whole bunch of glass if we get to that stage, but I have a feeling we probably won't. But if we do, we can come back and grab it. And one of these days I'm going to learn to land right. Right, so... But yeah, there's lots of little grindy bits at the moment. Before I can start doing anything superhero landing, right off the edge and in the water, splat. At least I didn't go completely splat. So yeah, I went digging for sand and gravel and what have you for the concrete. Although, as I was saying earlier, I need at least 21 shulkers of glass. So I've got 4 there and I have some more smelting. It'll get there. It's just going to put you down. I was kind of trying to figure out how much more glass stroke concrete I needed to get. That's true, yeah. It was a case of I collected 5 shulkers of sand earlier. Some for concrete, some for glass. I'm just glad we have a resource world. Like I said, when I play the single player world, I had to make get a resource world as well because I've been spoilt. for too long. Or I should say 5 resource worlds. Or is it 4? It is very useful. Like I said, when I started single player, my main reason for making it a paper server was because that way I could have them. That and it means I don't have to destroy an area of the overworld. Or several areas of the overworld. Because at some point I may want to build in those areas. And it's a shame that I would have had to go hunting for somewhere else. Hi Zalvi, thank you for the gas ball. Oh. That made me sit up and pay notice. Oh, go away, Enderman. How are you doing, Zalvi? Let's get rid of you. Yeah, and you can't get to me because it's too high here. Oh well, you got to me anyway. Famous last words. Right. There we go. It's a good job they don't have a pack mentality. Would you imagine the chaos if you hit an Enderman and the rest of the Endermen in the area decided to come and pick a bone with you? You just finished your tea or dinner. That's cool. Yep, famous last words can be here, kitty kitty. Yep. As true is too true. Have you got a cat? You got a cats as well, Salvi? Oops. And I can't remember, Ali, did you say you had cats? I'm being dippy. My brain's gone out the side of my ear again. No, my family members kick. Okay. You like to keep them around. Don't do that, Pendle. I will at some point, but I think of moving, so I think it's better to get them once I'm settled. True. It is. Although they can move with you, it's easier if they... So you're planning on moving, Ali? Or you're just thinking about it at this point? But yeah, that's the thing with pets. They're awesome. I loved having cats. But you have to be very considerate about them too. Kick is what happens when you accidentally hit enter. Okay. I guess I'm being dippy. Either that or I'm just too old. You love the trash can tabby cats. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. My first cat was black and white. More white than black. She was white with black spots. The second one was white with ginger and black. I would call them spots, but they kind of alternated. And it was more like a checkerboard effect down her back. They were very beautiful. Because I thought the world of them. First one was what, 21, 22 when she passed, and the other one was 17. So I never had a dog myself. My mum had a couple of dogs when we were kids. So I'd get to take them for walks when we visited. But we didn't have dogs. Oh, like and hit enter instead of delete. Okay, not a problem. My brain, like I said, it went out the side of my ear. But yeah, dogs are awesome as well. It's just a case of you need to spend a lot more time with dogs. Cats are very independent. And I would never have a dog while I wouldn't be at home enough for them. Whereas a cat, leaving it during the day isn't too bad because they very much take care of themselves. As I've said previously, you own a dog, but a cat owns you. But yeah. When you do get round to getting cats, Ali, I look forward to seeing some images in Discord, etc. Whenever you get around to it, if you get around to it, because it always depends when you're moving or renting. It's hard work when you're renting, having pets, because not a lot of landlords don't like them. Okay, so I'm out of concrete. Looks like it's going to end up being something like 4 shulkers. I was hoping that shulker would be enough to finish that, but I know there's a few more blocks left here, I think, maybe. Ah, we have a little bit more. Fingers crossed. Yeah. My favourite of my mum's dog was a dog called Sandy. She was kind of like a whippet, but not full blown pedigree whippet. That whenever I visited, that dog and me would go out and we'd run everywhere. She was awesome. Yeah, that's true. It is one of the obstacles. So you're just moving house, or you thinking of moving area, or you're just thinking at this point and you don't really want to talk about it? That's fine too. Probably shouldn't ask. Shouldn't have put you on the spot. Sorry. Right, so we're getting there. Come on. Let's see how much further we can get with. We'll see. It's not going to fill this lot in. But we can make a little bit more concrete. I do have some sand and gravel. And the dye. What I wonder. Oops. Keep placing blocks wrong today. You asked me, I kind of replied, mostly likely for now. I'll move somewhere around the UK, maybe to a spot which looks less like an industrial area. Yep, I can understand that one, Ali. Ah, you're planning to move. Sorry, apologies, I missed that chat part area. Planning to move, thinking of Canada or Croatia, but maybe I'll stick around the UK. Just a nicer spot than Leeds, maybe. Yeah, Leeds is very industrial. So I can understand that. Sorry. Canada's beautiful. I enjoyed my time travelling across Canada. That's a long time ago. That's better part of 30 years, I guess. I don't know about Croatia. I've never been there. But it is, yeah, the industrial north. Yeah. There's a lots of old mill towns around here, a lot, especially along the Leeds Liverpool Canal kind of area. True, a lot of them have been converted. Right, so let's put those in there and those there. How much? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 16, right? Uh, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, 16. 36. Probably about 10 stacks-ish. We should have enough to do that. Let's go make up a little bit of concrete and see if we can get that section filled. Then obviously we need to put some clouds in, some white concrete in that. End up knocking out some of the blue concrete for white concrete, or light grey concrete for clouds. It's true. Unfortunately, when I move back north, where I've moved to, I'm 5 to 10-minute walk to the town centre and 5-10 minute walk to the country, so it's not too bad. But it is still very industrial. It's not so bad if you can drive, you can then live a little bit further out. Same for where you are, if you could move a little further out into a more rural area rather than the city centre or the city area. I say city centre, it's all pretty cityfied. And like you're saying, very much industrial. Let's put you there. You can come with me. Travel. Sand. Yeah, car is very useful in Britain, but mostly because of the public transport here, it's nearly as good as in Europe. Okay. I don't know, to be honest, is the answer to that one. But it does depend on where you are with public transport, I think. Yeah. And it, like you say, it also depends on what you're used to. Especially if you're going further out. Because, yeah, if you're in the country area, you're only going to get a bus every once in a blue moon. You will get them, just, yeah. Especially since COVID, it seems to have been, a lot of the services have been reduced. Right, so let's stick you there. Hopefully this shouldn't take long. Apologies. Oh, rather than annoy you, options, sounds, blocks. Let's turn the block sounds down. Okay, so what does that sound come under? I tell you what, be easier just to turn everything down a little bit. Oh, it's not quite as annoying. I can at least say that Lee's bus system is really bad, but also British Rail's large aren't stellar. No, plus are expensive is British Rail. The job I currently have was on about me going to the northern office, and which is a lot closer to Leeds daily, and the cost of travelling there, it would work out at £30 odd a day. Not to mention the time. It was a case of, nope, that's not happening. That's silly money. Not to like I say, not to mention the amount of time it would take to get there. It's a shame. So yeah, having a car sometimes is a necessity. Yeah, very expensive. Also amazing. Around half the railways aren't even electrified. True. Yeah, most of the tracks aren't electrified, especially it's only the mainline ones that seem to be. Most of the other are around the bigger cities. It's like the cross country from Blackpool to Scarborough isn't really electrified, or it wasn't the last time I went on it. Admittedly, it's a decade ago. There was a couple of stretches of it is, but most of it isn't, so they don't run that kind of train. But then again, it's nice to take a train trip every so often. As long as you know where to be in a rush. I used to take the train every other weekend to Scarborough. In the summer months. The Yorkshire course was really nice. Probably still is. Yeah, as long as you get out of the centre, you're not too bad. It is beautiful. Whitby's gorgeous too. Or it used to be the last time I was there. I honestly can't say for sure because, like I say, it's been well over a decade since I was last there. Yeah, I used to spend a number of weekends in Scarborough because I'd go surfing just south of Scarborough. How are we doing? Well, we can't be far off. There used to be a really nice ice cream shop or ice cream parlour right off the wharf. You can't really call it a pier because it's not exactly a pier, it's more of a wharf where the trawlers used to come in. Not sure it's still there. Right, so let's grab another bottle. And let's grab a couple of shulkers of this. I miss riding the trains. Used to take one from Italy up to Denmark and back, like once a year. That's cool, Sky. That's cool. The problem is over here they can be very expensive, which is a shame. When I was down in Plymouth and me and my sister were coming up to Manchester to watch an event. Yeah. I was checking the prices of us travelling by train. And for two of us for the weekend return, they wanted £600. whereas it only costs 60 quid to fly. It's a case of, yeah, what are you going to choose? I know which I chose. I do love trains. Trains are fun. I enjoy being able to watch the scenery, etc. Just the leisurely pace of them going by and the relaxing side. Yeah, that was the thing. It was £600 return, weekend return. They wanted 50 quid for the coach, £60 to fly, or £600 to get the train. So yeah, we flew. Because why spend? I'm not going to spend 600 quid, not for not for two train tickets. Not when I can fly to New Zealand for not much more than that. Or I could at the time. Not sure what it'd cost now, but at the time you used to be able to. It was. And it's a case of, okay, you can pay 50 quid for a return for coach, but then you're stuck on the coach for 6 to 8 hours. Whereas flying, you're up and down within an hour. Well, you know what I mean, and through the airport and everything else, because it's about a 30-minute flight. So, yep, we definitely flew. It just made more sense. The whole point of railways is less expensive and more environment friendly transport. Somehow the real is on its head these days. Yep. I'd expect that to include a really nice room and gold coated food for that price. So yep. Nah. That was the thing. And it wasn't like I was booking at the last minute. It was 3 months before the journey was due to take place. So, yep, I've flown to the States for around 300. I've flown to New Zealand for, I think it was 650 the first time and 700 the second time. And they were return tickets. I don't know how they can justify charging that kind of money. I really don't. And it wasn't like it was a special weekend, a bank holiday weekend. And it wasn't the summer months, it was end of spring. We're almost there with the blue. Oops. Keep doing that. Right, and then we need to figure out where we're going to put some clouds. And knock out some concrete. It is a lot of concrete. And most of it's going to be kind of hidden underneath, behind the void effect. Right, and we had 44 pieces left, so I didn't do too bad with the count for that bit. So let's knock out kind of shape, and I am just doing it at random. As long as we end up where we started, everything in the middle can then get knocked out. So yeah, I'm going to have leftover concrete anyway, but like I say, I'd sooner start with I've said previously, I'd sooner start with a blank canvas. I'm hoping it looks okay once it's done. Now let's move a little bit. I want some clouds, but I don't want it to be a really too much clouds, if that makes sense. It's not going to be a really overcast day. It's just going to be a couple of clouds in the sky kind of day. I say that and I do a massive cloud. Just knock them out. Well, the plan with the void effect is obviously I'm just going to dig out a couple of layers at a time so I can actually use the netherrack to be stood on while I'm building, instead of tearing it all out and then building scaffolding, etc. Excuse me. So just grab a drink. Yeah, it's about, what, 3.5, 3 and a bit shulkers of concrete for the entire area. And let's move over here a bit, I think. We'll put another cloud. Not sure how it's going to look because obviously it's just random knocking out of blocks. It's going to be one of those things that I won't be sure how it looks until we actually finish it. And we will put a cloud here as well. And it's going to end up that all the concrete I just made I probably didn't need to make. But that's all good. It'll get used for something because I still have to do, in fact, it'll get used for probably the side part of the effect, the one bit that comes over the tunnel, the nether tunnel anyway. Right. I think this is a bit too big of an area, so let's take out some of this. And then this will be the last cloud. So need to go grab the white/grey concrete. Don't think I've made any grey concrete, but in fact I don't think I have. Oh, I should be okay, maybe. I guess we'll find out if I have any black dyes. I still think we should be allowed to use coal as black dye. I'm hoping it will look good once it's finished, Zalvi. There's plenty of work going into it anyway. And not just my work, Ali's lent a hand and people have thrown resources at me. So yeah. Ali did a lot of digging in netherrack to get rid of it. Ali's awesome. Right, so let's put those away. Let's see how many stacks. Okay. So 10, 11. So around 11 stacks. I still appreciate it, Ali. I don't care if you needed the resources and that. I still appreciate that you took the time and lent a hand to dig it out. In fact, you did most of the digging. And then went and gave me half of the resources. If not all, the vast majority of them, because you came and dropped off some additional stuff at one point. So yeah. Ali has a heart of gold. Even if he'll deny it. Right, so concrete. Some white concrete in here. I may end up popping to... Okay, so we have plenty of white concrete. I wonder if Space Tech has any grey concrete. Let's go check Space Tech shop. Because Space Tech is another awesome person on this server who set up a free concrete shop. So it might be worth seeing if they have a few stacks of grey. I don't need tons. But it'd save making it if there is some there. there are a whole bunch of awesome shops out in the shopping district. I do love that we can have that on a server. And that they don't price gouge. Oh, let's turn that back up while I'm remembering. TP definitely did an awesome job of this nether hub, overworld area, whatever you call it, spawn point. Right. Okay, so let's head. And we've got a light. Is that a crow? Got a pair of eyes on there. There's so many awesome builds. I do love seeing them. I believe Zebra still doesn't like the glazed terracotta he used in there. Oh, well, he used it for functionality to point people the way out of the area, and I still didn't spot it. Right, so solid grey. That's a shulker full. I don't need a shulker full. Take 3 of those. And 2 of those. That should be plenty. So yeah. Yeah, I dropped off some donations of gravel and sand because he's been awesome doing this kind of thing. It saves so much work. There are only a couple of the grey terracotta blocks I like. I like I think it's a black one with the red one that looks like carpeting, which is nice in certain places. Kind of looks like casino flooring, or I used it, I think last time I used it on flooring, I used it in a cinema. And I like the, I'm not sure if it's light grey or I think it's a light grey one with the white circles and the cyan in it. Yep, that didn't work too well. I don't think I've grabbed iron today. Let's grab some iron from the iron farm. There we go. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it or not, but yeah. I do like to build with iron occasionally, and I think I've gone too far. Getting lost. Nope, I didn't go far enough. But yeah, it's a pink terracotta. It only seems to have functionality rather than anything else. Say hi to Grim in a second. Oops, caps lock. Right, so now we have grey, we have white. We can at least try and make some clouds. Oops. Oh, okay, so we ran out of portion effect. Yeah, because that's pretty dark there. We need to go grab some portion effect. Let's put the concrete down so I don't forget. But that should be enough to do what we need. The clouds. And then it's a case of placing the right coloured glass below it. You like that they found a way to put those in? Yep. It's cool that they did. I must admit, I didn't spot them at first. So it was a case of, okay, how do we get out of spawn? Yeah. Follow the arrows in the floor. Oops. I'm not having much luck flying today. Try again. Blue glass, blue glass, blue glass. Ah, okay, so we've just hit the 2 hour mark because I started just after a restart. So we guess we're going to call it a stream there for today. And we will continue building the void effect next stream and probably work some more on the island and see what else we can come up with as well. Now, Tango is streaming, so I'm assuming you are all going to head Tango's way. So I will see you all over there, okay? Have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Take care of yourselves and have fun, okay? Bye. Oh, I'm sure you know who that is.